Hello everyone, and welcome to Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've just been visiting my sister here for the weekend, and now I'm about to fly back to Lancaster. I'm going to be taking Southern Airways Express's direct flight from Pittsburgh Airport to Lancaster Airport. So, enjoy this first ever flight review for this channel. In order to catch my flight, I hopped on board the 28X bus for a one-seat ride to the airport. Traffic between Oakland and downtown was a bit hairy, but soon we crossed the Monongahela, and after a final look at Pittsburgh's skyline, we turned onto the West Busway, which connects West Carson Street with Route 376. The highway goes straight to the airport, but the 28X bus makes a detour to the mall at Robinson along the way. Pittsburgh's landside facilities were mid-sized and friendly, and I found security easy to find. There's a single checkpoint for the whole airport, and once you're through, a pair of trains connect you to the gates. Interestingly, Pittsburgh doesn't call these trains. Instead, they're referred to as transits. Southern Airways Express serves a pair of gates near the end of one concourse. This whole part of the terminal was quite empty, without much in the way of facilities beyond bathrooms. It was here that I learned that, when you arrive at the airport, you're supposed to have your carry-on bags weighed and tagged. The airline then uses that information, along with your weight, to figure out where you will be sitting on the plane, as well as to calibrate the aircraft for flight. Yeah, these planes aren't that big. This is today's ride, a Cessna 208 Caravan. It has enough seats for 2 pilots and 9 passengers, and on this particular flight, pretty much all the seats were filled. After boarding from the apron, which is always fun, we soon taxied to the runway and took off. The eastbound flight to Lancaster passes almost directly over downtown Pittsburgh, offering amazing views shortly after takeoff. In the air, passengers have a couple of amenities, including a reading light, an air vent, and an in-flight magazine. The plane also flies low enough that you can access cell towers on the ground, but as with any flight, this is technically against the rules, and I only discovered this because I completely forgot to put my phone in airplane mode. For me, the beautiful night views out the window were more than enough entertainment for the journey. A fellow passenger excitedly showed off his camera to me since I was filming, but since the plane's single engine was incredibly loud, I could barely make out a word he was saying. Before too long, we had broken through the clouds over York, and soon we were descending over Columbia and into Lancaster. And with that, I was back in my home city, having crossed Pennsylvania in 1 hour and 25 minutes. I figured this would be the end of the video. In the meantime, be sure to like and subscribe. Take care until the next one. But just a couple weeks later, I was invited to interview for occupational therapy grad school at Carlow University in Pittsburgh. So back I went to the airport. Lancaster Airport has a small terminal with plenty of aviation memorabilia on display. The entire terminal is landside, and passengers are sent through the single security checkpoint immediately before boarding. As it happened, I was the only passenger on this morning's flight to Pittsburgh, so security was quite fast. I found my seat, and soon we were in the air.
Where's the light we'd count on? It filled the crowded space. The voice inside our system that always led the way. Adjusting to this normal.
Flying west, we passed over Lancaster County, Middletown, and Harrisburg. I was able to spot Harrisburg International Airport and the new Middletown Amtrak station from my seat. If you want to see my adventure there, be sure to click the link above. After Harrisburg, the terrain became more mountainous and less familiar, and as clouds rolled in, it became harder to tell where we were.
Wake up to the morning sun, feels like we're getting closer. Call out to the lonely ones, roll them away. Better days are yet to come, with every present hour. No sense in breathing this new way of living. Forgotten things are coming back. Urge to spread their wings.
Then, finally, I began to see familiar sights of Pittsburgh: Kennywood, the Cathedral of Learning, downtown, and finally, the airport.
Adjusting to this normal, looking out from Sutro Edge. I can't help but smile now. Bird songs center stage. The world still beats a rhythm. Virtues carved a pace. It goes on and on and on and on. Wake up to the morning sun. Feels like we're getting closer. Call out to the lonely ones, roll them away. Better days are yet to come, with every present hour. No sense in breathing this new way of living. Where's the light we'd count on? It filled the crowded space. Better wake up. The voice inside our system that always led.
And here we are, finishing the flight review exactly where we started. But that was a fun flight, and now I'm off to interview at Carlow University. Let's see how it goes. As it turned out, the interview went quite well. A week later, Carlow offered me a spot in their inaugural Masters of Occupational Therapy cohort, and after giving it some thought, I accepted. So starting in August, I'm going to be calling Pittsburgh home for the next 2 years, and I can't wait to bring Yins along for the journey. And of course, whenever I need to visit Lancaster, I'll be taking Southern Airways Express.